Let's chat about happiness and what that looks like to you, what it looks like and what it feels like. And then also explore where you source your form of happiness. So it's been a minute, as some of us say, since I've been doing lives on YouTube, and I'm back on to doing these live sessions. I am also creating a full blog post which will specifically focus on this topic. And the reason why it came up, it was just intuitive. Woke up this morning and the word happiness came through. And then it sparked on this idea about creating a blog post. And so here we are. And I wanted to share that with you. So, what comes to mind for me is often happiness is seen as something that needs to be sourced. Okay, so you may find yourself either looking for the next best opportunity, which can be a job, which can be starting up an online business venture, or it might be going into a whole new relationship and believing that that next person will be somebody who will bring happiness. Or it can be other factors, which is something that I used to do as well, was escape to all sorts of countries just to experience escapism, basically, from the stresses of life, from the 9 to 5 hustle, and also the stresses. And I often felt this overwhelming sense of feeling like I need to leave like yesterday so that I can go and experience happiness. So it was when I started to explore a little bit further when I was undertaking psychotherapy courses and also my own psychotherapy sessions. Because as a student, you do need to take these courses. And somebody made a statement of, do you know that everywhere you go, you take yourself with you? Okay, so that is the thing, is that when it comes to happiness, some people, or most of us, and I've experienced it as I've just mentioned, is that we're continuously searching for happiness as though it's an external factor, as though it's an external experience, which is going to, for some, one way or another, whether it's success, making more money, it's going to make us happier. And the key thing that you may actually be forgetting is you. Okay, you are the person who will bring your own happiness, and it all starts from within. So I hope this is like resonating with you. And the things that I've written about is, for example, being genuinely happy is feeling internally at peace within oneself. So that means unconditional self love. And unconditional self love is something that is not easy to obtain, because we can be our own worst critics. And there is also other factors such as external influences, whether that be on social media, which is where we are spending the majority of our time, most of us anyway. Or it might be that you've been influenced, for instance, socially, politically, by your environment. And so you look for external sources to draw on in order to validate your experience. So that's where the unconditional self-love goes amiss, and the focus becomes the pressures of other people are expecting me to achieve such and such. Or you may also put expectations on yourself in terms of what you need to be achieving for yourself based on external factors. Happiness also is something that when you ultimately are able to obtain it, this is the genuine happiness, not the fleeting type of happiness. So this is the happiness where you experience my mic is like coming into the way. Excuse me. So you experience this freeing experience. Okay, so freeing from within. So this freeing is about letting go of self-limiting beliefs, letting go of those mindset challenges which have been holding you back. Okay, this is where it might also impede on not being happy, because again, it's the compound effect of everything that's been piled on top and on top, from childhood into adulthood, where there's been these external factors that have been influencing your upbringing, your inherited beliefs into your professional career. Then you wake up one day, you're like, oh my goodness, what am I doing here? I'm not really happy in my current workplace. Let me go and seek something else, not realizing that it is all to do with freeing oneself from self-limiting beliefs. These limiting beliefs can also be influenced by what people, like I've mentioned before, standards, expectations of who we are meant to be. So the who we are meant to be, you might have also experienced that from like your inner circle. It can be family, friends. They have certain expectations of what they think of who you are, who you should become. And then when you start to change that, it's almost like, oh goodness, what are you doing? Because a drastic change sometimes can be scary from other people, especially when you're seeking more happiness. They might not understand where you're coming from. Another level of happiness is being able to express gratitude, and that is easily forgotten as well. So, the gratitude is about being thankful about all life experiences, because when you think of the topic about, or the subject matter of happiness, one may just think that it just equates to just being happy and free of problems and smiling all the time. No, that's not what it means. And I've explained I've given some examples of what it truly means to be genuinely happy. So expressing gratitude makes you appreciate things in the present, life experiences in the present. You feel fulfilled from within to say, I am enough, or I have sufficient resources and materials surrounding me, my home environment, and my opportunities that are out there. I am happy and I am content right now. Anything else that I'm working towards is an extra bonus. It's a grand opportunity. So, what gets lost in the grandeur of things is this chase of, I must become successful, I must gain this. And bringing it closer to home is social media, for instance, is that I must gain more followers, I must gain more likes, comments, etc. I must influence in a certain way. But what's being forgotten there is that what is the end result? What is the outcome? Because when you get to that goal, let's say if it was like 5 million followers, or you got your 100,000 K, or 2 million in a year, that's money. Would you then ultimately be happy when you reach that goal? And you will find that people who haven't connected internally will continue to feel unhappy, no matter what the goal is, no matter what the gain or the benefit is, because they've forgotten the beginning and the end. And they've also forgotten the me, the I factor, which is you. The internal self is that in order to feel happiness, it is about healing past wounds, and also being present in moments, appreciating, the smaller things that happen in life in terms of success results, being patient with time in terms of expectations and also standards. Because I think there's also, not even I think, we all know, there's this push of we must achieve certain things now, today. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. Or this instantaneous pressure of you must see such and such a number of results online, because I work in the online world in terms of being a creative entrepreneur and being on social media most of the time, that's why I'm giving these examples, is that there's this pressure that people tend to focus on the external, is that I must get this, but what is the end result when you get what you're looking for, like on social media platforms? Is it going to make you happier, or is it better to, I was going to say know thyself. Where was that coming from? Okay, we'll say know thyself because that just popped up in my mind for some reason. Okay, so when you are in tune with you from internally, and then when you're focusing on giving in terms of creating content, as an example, rather than the gains, the successes, and everything there, you're most likely to show up as your most authentic self because you're not so much influenced by external factors as your key driving factor. And you're more likely to remain consistent in seeing through your life vision goals because that is something that you're innately connected with. You know, this sense of purpose, this sense of giving, of being grateful, of gratitude. And it's a move away from the external pressures that happen. Uh, yeah, so I'm just going to look at other factors as well. So one other thing that I wrote down was it's about, yeah, I already mentioned it, about confronting the hard truths about oneself in order to free pain and life constraints. Okay, so that you can live in the best version, which is defined by you intuitively rather than being majorly drawn from like external sources who determine what you should become and who you should be. Lessons learned. I'm going to close it off with that. Lessons learned about happiness from my perspective. Happiness does not come from another place or external influences. Happiness does not come from escapism or material things. Happiness does not come from being more successful or acquiring more riches in the world. And happiness does not come from, I'm going to say it again, social media. This is in relation to social media. It does not come from how many followers, likes, comments you have, because all of these experiences, there will be fleeting moments. They will come and go. The thing that will remain most constant in your life is you, because we take ourselves everywhere we go in relationships, or people come, there's this saying about the seasonal relationships. Okay, people will come into our lives and they'll flood out of our lives due to the experiences that we have with them. And within those experiences, the likelihood is that you're going to be impacted positively, negatively, and it can be both at extremes. The only person who can control what is happening in terms of the external factors is about always being in tune with what and self-aware about what is going on internally in terms of what you accept as happiness or not, what makes you feel more person-centered. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. And I'll also talk a little bit more about happiness and success, which I'm going to be adding on to my blog post. And if you have joined me or just found this live session after it's been shared on my YouTube platform right here, do feel free just to comment and let me know about what your definition of true, genuine, and authentic happiness is, and also what you're searching for in terms of happiness as well. I'm just curious to know. So I'll leave it there for now until next time. Bye for me for now.